The lady you are looking at right now is a South African, and she used Nigeria as a case study in her topic. Please, brothers and sisters, let us take every sentiment aside. Listen to understand. This video is not a fight between Nigerians and South Africans. Let us listen to this young woman carefully so you can dissect everything you heard her say, and you will be able to give out your own views. Let us be open-minded. I repeat, this video is not a fight between South Africans and Nigerians. It is time to put our heads together and think like one. Let's listen to her.
Here's a lesson we can all learn from Nigeria. And this is not a critique about the Nigeria system. This is not a gloat. This is something that if we are not careful will happen to the rest of us. You see, we as humans have this deep-seated belief of we just want to save ourselves. It's our last-ditch effort to say, you know what, I can't control what other people can do. I can control what I can do. So as for me and my family, we're just going to save ourselves and run. But the issue with that then becomes, you do not exist in a vacuum. If today I say I'm going to be an intellectual, marry another intellectual, have a kid that's an intellectual, we're not going to live in space. We're going to live amongst other people, the same people who I have withdrawn my empathy for, I have withdrawn my support for. They're going to be the ones who have to interact with my child, interact with me. I am going to inevitably fall into the systems of this country, which I have withdrawn myself from. This is something similar that happened to Nigeria. People, when they saw that they didn't like to be in Nigeria anymore, they started leaving. They just started leaving, and they left, and they left, and they left. And what ended up happening? Science tells us this beautifully when we study osmosis. When they left a higher concentration of the people that couldn't leave, either because they were benefiting from corruption or they couldn't leave. Now, when they come back for a visit or anything, the country is dysfunctional. The country is quite dysfunctional to a point where however rich you are, however much money you have, however powerful you are, you cannot save yourself from the country. Remember, initially you said, I'm going to save myself. Now you cannot save yourself because you are falling to the systems of your country. Now, by this, I am not saying that all is lost. I'm saying nature teaches this beautifully. The minority must always be the social outliers. You know, in nature, when we look at it, only 2% of the human populations are narcissists. I don't know if that was grammatically correct. That's not the point. Only 2% of people are narcissists. The same could be said for sociopaths and psychopaths. So nature made sure that I'm going to give you social deviance, but the majority will not be social deviants. But if we continue to leave spaces where there's dysfunction and not address it, what we are doing is creating a higher concentration of social deviancy that one day we will become victims of. I don't know if I'm making sense. If we keep leaving dysfunctional situations at a rapid rate, the system will become dysfunctional and one day we'll be victims of that same system. What am I saying? I'm saying that in our everyday lives, I know it's taxing, it's tiring. We cannot always keep up with everything that's going on. I mean, we have kids, we have dogs, we have homes, we have tax, we have electricity, we have water. There's always all of those things. But we have to, as a society, make sure that those podcast guys and those social deviants are in the minority. That, dare I say, and I don't like this word, but for the sake of the effect, that stupidity is in the minority. Because the moment stupidity is in the majority, we will question everything. One day, people will ask, but how do we know that plants grow with water? And it will be a valid question. It is not normal to treat anecdotal evidence as empirical evidence. What do I mean by that? If I say, I'm just going to eat raw chicken because I ate raw chicken yesterday and I didn't die. It is not normal to reason like that in society. But when we keep making it we are academic peers because we are on TikTok kind of thing, that my ignorance is equal to your education just because we are both human beings, we are going to perpetuate a country where someone can say, no, there's no harm in eating raw chicken. And we have to make a valid standpoint. That's valid. That's valid. The same can be said for other social ills, which I'm not going to get into. My thing is a plea to society into saying we cannot let deviancy, we cannot let degenerate behavior become the norm. There will always be those people, but let them be a small group on their own, on an island somewhere, that they also know that shame, yes, we are not the normal. We are not the norm. Let those podcast bros be podcast bros, but let them know that in the real world it doesn't fly. But when we slowly say, I'm removing myself, what happens is the deviants become the majority. One day you will come, you will speak to people, and common sense will be the least common thing. And then you will have to fall for the systems that you perpetuated when you said, I'm going to leave myself out of this.
Do you agree with her? Does she make sense? I would love to hear from you. Because I feel like sometimes we human, we don't understand what collective effort is all about. We feel like sometimes whenever we are saying me is always the best way out. But it's not always the best way out. But at the same time, I would love to hold my opinion. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think about this. I want us to have more conversation about this in the comment section. Please, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't.